Most self-help doesn't work. And it's not because the steps are necessarily wrong, but because they're trying to build a new life on top of the same old shape. And your shape, it always wins. Your shape decides what you can tolerate, what you can receive, what you can maintain. It's the shape that your early childhood experiences carved into not just how you relate to other people, but how you relate to yourself and the world at large. It's your patterning, your conditioning, it's your default expectations, and the shape of what you believe is safe, possible, allowed, and sustainable for you. Because you can have the absolute best laid plans and the most aligned goals in the whole world and still not be able to hold the life you want, even when that's the life you're meant to have. You can also get really competent and achieve your goals through that competence and still not feel fulfilled. Looking around like, is this really it? Like, why don't I feel better? If your system isn't calibrated to hold the life you actually want, the life you're meant to have, to accept it, to walk in it as the truth, then that life won't feel like a gift or a given, okay? It'll feel like a threat. It'll feel like a fantasy, something not meant for you. Your nervous system will find a way to make it heavy or empty, make it complicated, make it hard, make it slippery, or make it disappear right as you reach it. Before we dive in, a little reintroduction to me, my theory, and my methodology. I was raised in a family with severe intergenerational trauma. On my mother's side, I come from First Nations heritage and generations of women facing the most extreme hardships that women, and especially women of color, can face. The worst things that can happen to women and to minorities happened to my ancestors for generations. Okay, that trauma is so deep, it gets passed on in genes, right? Not to mention the behaviors, shape, and attachment they pass on through parenting. On my father's side, alcoholism began at the age of 12. He was sober for 33 years when he passed away last year. And while he did a lot of personal growth, he never fully uncovered what truly stood in his way. So I'm first generation in so many ways. I'm first gen university educated. I'm first gen white collar professional. I'm first gen happy. I'm first gen not mentally ill. I'm first gen parenting in a way that's productive, loving, and safe. I'm first gen happy and healthy in my family life. I'm first gen traveled all over the world. First gen financially abundant and building generational wealth. I'm first gen fulfilled. I'm first gen living my purpose. First gen choosing the country and area I want to live in. What I'd argue is probably one of the most desirable places in the world, even objectively speaking, is where I live. I've lived on 5 out of 6 habitable continents. Okay, lived, not visited. And I graduated from university with a double degree in first class standing. And I entered university with a grade 9 education. I spent years studying Eastern healing, energy work, self-actualization, personal development, and then I dove into Western academia, where I was hand-selected as a serious scholar. And I found that many of the principles I uncovered in ancient Eastern wisdom were also echoed in Western philosophy and current research. So every academic I explained my theory to got visibly excited by it. The problem? My theory was too broad to fit neatly into any academic department. So even with promises of scholarships and research positions, I would have had to pare down my work to fit the mold, pare down the scope of the research to fit a department. And I honestly couldn't see how I could do it well, and it certainly didn't excite me. So I decided against it. I wanted to study what I truly wanted to study. And a brilliant entrepreneur friend who'd benefited from my work firsthand convinced me to bring a personal development methodology to the world at large. So it took me about 5 years to develop the Sustainable Dreams methodology from the Sustainable Dreams theory, the research, including lots more research and experimentation and refining the approach with those findings. I started a wellness brand That's where my efficacy numbers come from. But the theory itself was designed for wealth, happiness, and relationships, okay? It was designed for fulfillment. It was designed to live the dream sustainably. Health just happened to be a side effect. People also drop into ideal health on their terms in the process, but it was never really the goal. And 10 years ago, when I first entered the online space, people weren't ready for the full message. So I focused and packaged it in wellness initially in a way that people could understand. And that's where my 10 times efficacy estimates come from, real physical results. So let me be clear. This is not going to be like anything you've ever heard before. Everything I share comes from my proprietary theory, the sustainable dreams theory that I had to create because I couldn't find the real answers on how to get to goals that didn't come easily for me. How to heal like you were never hurt or be better because you were. How to totally change your shape so you fit into a completely different lifestyle. Everything I share is evidence-based, practical, and intuitive. Yet it's groundbreaking. And more importantly, it works. It's estimated to be 10 times more effective than the leading strategies and methods out there. So yes, we're talking measurable, real-world results, 10 times more effective. And why? Because unlike most self-help and most healing work, I was not satisfied with just making the pain a bit better or coping or excusing what I couldn't do because of that pain. And unlike most personal development advice, I realized that trying to push forward without removing what's in your way, trying to push forward without changing who you are, how you relate to yourself, how you relate to the world, and how you relate to other people, is a recipe for feeling worse about yourself, feeling like it's evidence there really is something wrong with you, or developing a fake persona to perform the success you actually want to enjoy. It's not empowerment. That's spinning your wheels until you burn out. What I'm going to give you is totally different because I've uncovered what's actually standing in people's way from becoming the person for whom success is inevitable. It's your shape. And I'm going to show you how to fix your shape so that you can walk into the life you really want to live, the life you're meant to live naturally. I'll break down exactly what's holding you back and more importantly, what you can do about it.